Having read the passage, Matthew chapter 2, verses 1 to 12, and listened to the carol, the first Noel, I started to think on what it must have been like to be one of the three wise men. The common link between them was their interest in the night sky, and one very bright new star in particular, now thought to be a conjunction of the planets Jupiter, Saturn and Mars. They knew somehow that the star was of great significance, as it heralded the good news of the coming of Jesus, who was to be the Saviour of the world. They met up and travelled many hot and dusty miles together. Just think what it must have been like, travelling on camels through desert land at night, simply following a star. In due course, they arrived in the land of Judea and inquired as to where they could find the special baby. They were told to move on to Bethlehem. Now, King Herod, who ruled Judea at the time, was a very jealous and powerful man. Herod heard of the interests of the wise men and called them to a secret meeting. He asked them to go and find the newborn child and tell him where he was, so he too could go and worship him. They must have felt very honoured to be asked by a king to carry out this task. The wise men therefore continued to follow the star in the east until it hung right over the very place in Bethlehem where the newborn baby lay. Imagine their excitement at finally arriving at the lowly cowshed and finding the baby Jesus in Mary's arms. They immediately bowed down and worshipped the newborn child, which must have been a very unusual sight. Here were three rich, learned and expensively dressed men kneeling before a baby in a manger in a cattle shed. Each of the visitors then opened the gifts they had brought. Very expensive gifts they were too. As well as gold, they brought frankincense, a sweet-smelling resin from Arabia, used as incense, and also myrrh, a gum used as incense but bitter as opposed to sweet, and often an ingredient in perfume. They knew how long anticipated and important this wee baby was, hence the presents fit for a king. The three men must have been quite exhausted after their travels and looked for a place to sleep. Unlike Mary and Joseph, they were very rich, so maybe found a bed for the night quite easily. Their sleep, however, was interrupted, as each had the same dream. The dreams told them not to go back and tell King Herod where they had found the newborn baby. Herod, you see, had no intention of worshipping this child. Instead, he wanted to kill him, for he feared Jesus would someday become bigger and stronger than he was. Imagine having such a dream with such strong communication, wondering whether there would be repercussions if they followed its message. Fortunately, the wise men all agreed not to tell King Herod that they had found Joseph, Mary and the baby Jesus in Bethlehem, or anything about what they had seen that night. They then decided to go home by a different route. Joseph, that same night, was visited by an angel from God, who told him to take Jesus straight away to Egypt, where he would be safe, and to stay there until another angel would guide him. This angel told Joseph to go to a place called Nazareth, and that was where Jesus grew up.